Hi there guys, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm here to give you a review of 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, and this episode is season 3 episode 4, Love is a Battlefield. So I'm going to split this into 4 parts and we're going to look at each couple separately so that we can do a little bit more in-depth analysis so that we can more thoroughly pick their relationships to bits. So first I'm going to concentrate on Rebecca and Zied, and Rebecca is currently meeting Zied for the first time on holiday in Tunisia. Rebecca's going to meet Zied's friends with some interesting results. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to press that like button on my video. I regularly post videos and I'll be undertaking in-depth analysis of the whole of this season of 90 Day Fiance. And don't forget to write your comments in the comments section. Let me know if you think the eBird's being a little harsh, and definitely let me know if you think I'm being really harsh. I plan to be. I do read every comment, so please don't be shy. So Rebecca and Zied's story starts with a game of football, and for my American subscribers, soccer. And Rebecca's going to meet Zied's friends for the first time, and she tells us she's nervous. As well she might be. And we see Rebecca standing on the sideline, cheering Zied on as he plays football with his friends. Rebecca feels rather comfortable in that role, as she's had 25 years of being a soccer mum, cheering on her kids from the sideline. And if she marries Zied, she'll have at least another 10 years of doing the same thing. Then Rebecca's anxiety kicks in because she just wants to meet Zied's friends. She said, "Zied, what are you doing?" "Rebecca, you know what he's doing. He's playing football with his friends." And it seems that Rebecca hasn't learned within the 3 marriages she's already had not to get in between a man and his sport. And is it just me, or does Rebecca speak to Zied like he's one of her, I was gonna say kids, but I guess even grandkids? She can be quite condescending. I think it's highly likely that Rebecca and Zied's bedroom antics made them a little late for football, because it seems Zied had to wear something from lost property, and the something he had to wear was clearly from a 12-year-old boy. So Zied gathers his friends together and brings them all around Rebecca for a show and tell. And the looks on their faces say, why did Rebecca bring her mum instead of just coming herself? But then Rebecca decides to ask one of the most ridiculous questions that I have ever borne witness to. And she asks them, "Do you like Americans?" "America, movie, ooh, yeah, good." And it would seem that his friends have been taught by the same English teacher as Zied. But what a ridiculous question. Do you like Americans? You can only ever answer that question if you've met every single American. And it shows the level of depth that Rebecca wants to go to with gaining more details about Zied and his friends. They said yes, they like Americans because really they were forced to. But I think it's fair to suggest that they possibly don't like Ted Bundy, but they do like Taylor Swift. They probably don't like Harvey Weinstein, but they love Steven Spielberg. See, it's not that simple, Rebecca. If you want to find out more information about the person that you're trying to marry, you need to ask questions such as, tell me a funny story about Zied. How long have you known each other? How did you meet each other? That kind of thing. But then things took a turn for the worst, and even the eBird felt a little uncomfortable. They asked her, how old are you? Now I think in any society, in any situation, you do not ask a woman her age. And she said, I'm 47, I'm old. And they commented that she looked a lot younger on her photos. In other words, they meant that she'd been shamelessly photoshopping and putting filters onto her pictures, and not just making herself 30 years younger, but making herself 30 pounds lighter. Rebecca, oh what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. They then went on to ask about her tattoos. And as you guys know, she has 2 full sleeves. And although it's quite popular with younger people, you don't find many 47-year-old grandmothers with such a commitment to the needle. They asked to see them, and it was quite an uncomfortable moment because she struggled to get her jacket off, and then she had to roll her sleeves up, and it was almost like they were looking at her saying, yeah, American, strip. They asked, how much did it cost? And she told them about $6,000, and they commented, that's enough to buy a shop or set up a business in Tunisia. Side note, Zied, they would never have known about these tattoos had you not told them, so there's no point you sitting on the sideline with your head in your hands looking really embarrassed. This situation was created by and caused by you and you alone. And later on, as they resumed their game of soccer, they all laughed conspiratorially, and one of the guys said, you're looking more white already, which I took to mean jackpot. And Zied said, I am living the luxury life. I'm very lucky. And his friends commented that they would like to meet an American one day too. And I could tell by the way his friend interacted with Rebecca, they saw her as nothing more than a meal. She's a walking, talking green card. So the next time we see this couple, they're in a hotel room and they're getting ready to go out. So Rebecca says, I want to see what the nightlife has to offer. Let's drink, let's dance. And she tells Zied, I want to wear this blouse. And he said, yeah, no. And it was a black blouse with no sleeve and it's quite form-fitting. She's got quite a rack and they were pretty much on display. And Zied said, "It's too sexy." Again, Zied, get a new English teacher because that shirt's a lot of things, but sexy isn't one of them. And Rebecca said, "No, it'll be fine. I want to wear it." And then she said, "It's not sexy." And she was right. But nevertheless, she insists on wearing it. "I've got my jacket on, so it'll be fine." Zied said, "No, it's no good. I not go with you like this." She told him, "It's completely normal." Rebecca, it's not normal. A 47-year-old grandmother having a date with a 26-year-old man with 2 full sleeves of tattoos isn't even normal in America. Never mind Tunisia. And it surprises me that she never had this kind of chat with Zied before she even arrived in Tunisia, because I could have told her this kind of behaviour is not going to fly. And guys, I find it exceedingly difficult to imagine that they were talking in depth online before she went to Tunisia. What did they talk about? Rebecca, "I don't want someone jealous." Zied, "I'm a jealous kind of guy, that's the way I am." Rebecca possibly asked him, "What's the weather like in Tunisia? Is it chilly there on the equator? Do you need a knitted scarf?" Yeah, good." Zied probably said, "What's the K1 visa process? And how quickly can I get to America?" Yeah, good." That must have been the conversation. It seems to me that Rebecca's ex-husband made her wear a hijab, stopped her from wearing makeup, made her dress conservatively, so now she's doing the absolute opposite with Zied, and so Zied's paying for her past relationships. She's pushing the boundaries much too far. Rebecca, there is a middle ground, and if you want to get with Zied, you might want to try standing on it. Later in the bar, unsurprisingly, the night isn't going as planned. Zied is not happy. Having told Zied earlier, "Don't worry, I've got my jacket on," she wasted absolutely no time in getting into the bar and whipping off that jacket, displaying her tattoos, her arms, all in a tight top. People start looking at her, and Zied tried to explain, "If you wear clothes like this, you're not a good woman in my country." So she started saying, "So I'm not a good person now because of a jacket." No, you're not a good person because you fail to respect Zied's country, you fail to respect Zied's customs, even though you knew them before you went, and you fail to wear even moderate dress for the 2 weeks that you're in Tunisia. It's only 2 weeks until you go home. And then he said something which I knew to be the case from the previous episode. He said, "I am a jealous guy." We know, Zied, we know. And he proves his jealousy by arguing with a random guy in the bar who's staring at Rebecca. He claims to be looking at her tattoos, but his eyes are pretty much feasting everywhere. Rebecca thinks there's going to be a fight, and in some small way, I think that's what Rebecca actually wants. I think she's getting off on this. She tells us, "I never knew he was like this." Of course you don't, Rebecca, because you don't know him. She said, "I've never seen him like this." Of course you don't, Rebecca, because you've never seen him. You've just met him a couple of days ago. She tells us, "If this continues like this relationship's going nowhere." But I have a very big feeling that just like Angela and Michael, she's going to moan a bit and have a miserable face and chew his ear, but she's not going anywhere. Rebecca, you do well to remember that any court of law would find you guilty of fraudulent misrepresentation. And for those who don't know, a misrepresentation is a false statement of fact which induces the representee, that's you, Zied, to enter into a contract. And all of the filters and photoshopping that you did on the pictures that you sent to Zied would doubtless meet that criteria. So bear that in mind when you're busy digging out Zied for being controlling, and bear it in mind when you're disrespecting his culture. Yeah, that's right, Rebecca, I said it. You pretty much catfished this guy, so at least cut him some slack. I think Rebecca's being extremely unfair, and she's taking a path of action which is certainly going to lead in discourse and arguments with Zied. She seems to think that customs and norms are exactly the same in the USA as they are in Tunisia. You've already married one Muslim guy, it didn't work out so well, but yet she's back for more. You know the lay of the land, Rebecca. For his part, Zied should have got his friends together, because I felt they were a little over the top with Rebecca and a little bit invasive. Instead of just sitting there looking embarrassed, he should have said, "Guys, don't be rude." And I think he might have spoken to his friends about Rebecca less than positively. Guys, let me know what you think. Rebecca, get to realise that customs and norms in Tunisia are different from America, and expectations are therefore going to be different. You do not have your shoulders out in a bar in Tunisia. Zied, remember, mics are on at all times, so when you're chatting with your friends saying, "I'm lucky and I'm living a luxury life," we hear you and we see you, we know what your game is. So guys, please let me know what you think, put your thoughts in the comments, and please don't forget to press that red button, subscribe to my channel for regular content, and stay tuned, because next up I'm going to be reviewing Benjamin and Akini, and Caesar and the phantom ghost that is Maria. I get a feeling I won't have a lot to say on Maria, but plenty to say on Caesar. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Ciao for now.